Chapter 1. The Mustang was the warning. Riley Grant didn't believe in omens. But when a cherry-red 1969 Mustang Mach 1 pulled into her shop with exhaust tuned like a punchline, she didn't hear horsepower. She heard trouble. The car idled like it was clearing its throat. Bold, aggressive, polished within an inch of its pride. Riley stepped off the lift platform and wiped her hands on her coveralls. The afternoon sun caught the name stamped across the shop gate. Iron Ridge Customs, built to last. The driver door swung open, and there he was. Colin Mercer. 10 years older, still regulation stiff, uniform sharp even in civilian clothes. His boots were too clean for this shop. His smile too confident. The last time she saw that face, he was walking out of her apartment saying, "I need someone who plays the game, not someone trying to change it." Now here he was, leaning against the Mustang like it belonged on a magazine cover. "Didn't think you still worked the line yourself," he said. "You own the place, right?" Riley stared. "Still do. Still run it. Still covered in grease. Guess some of us don't have assistants for everything." He laughed, short and performative. "I've got a project I need turned around quick. It's got to be you." Riley crossed her arms. "You've got your pick of shops from here to Memphis. Why mine?" Colin opened the trunk and pulled out a folder. Blueprints, notes, and a military-grade parts request. "I'm overseeing a heritage vehicle showcase tied to the new civilian development at Fort Ransom. This Mustang centerpiece. I need it photo-ready by next Friday, preferably sooner." She flipped through the folder. "This thing's not even close. Engine's running hot, the timing's off, and half the interior's original rot. That's a 3-week job if we're lucky." He smiled with practiced charm. "You've always been good under pressure." Riley met his eyes. "Pressure's fine. Compromise isn't." He leaned in slightly. "This isn't just a vanity thing. We're making decisions about long-term contracts in the region. A little cooperation here could mean something bigger for Iron Ridge." There it was. Not a request. A lure. Same old Mercer. Still dressing manipulation in opportunity and acting like it's a compliment. "I don't play politics, Colin," Riley said. "And I sure as hell don't cut corners. Not for you, not for a magazine shoot, not for anyone." His smile cooled. "Think it over." She watched him walk out the gate like he owned the road he parked on. The Mustang sat behind, polished but hollow, like a shrine to what he thought power was supposed to look like. Chapter 2. Something's not right with this deal. Riley didn't sleep that night. It wasn't the job offer, or even Colin's face, slick with charm and veiled threat. It was the Mustang. She couldn't shake the feeling that it wasn't just here for a tune-up. It was here to put something on display, not the car. Her. By mid-morning, Jules Ramirez had already heard the pitch. He leaned on the break room doorway, sipping bitter gas station coffee like it was a tactical asset. "You really gonna take it?" "No," Riley said without looking up from the parts inventory. "And before you say it, I know we need the money. But I won't let him hang a contract over my head like bait." Jules didn't argue, just nodded. "Heard his name last week. Mercer's been sniffing around the rezoning board," he said. "Some land outside the South Bypass. Farmland, old shops, the Ridge." Riley froze. "The Ridge? Her Ridge? You sure?" Jules walked over and dropped a folded printout next to her elbow. a land parcel map with colored overlays. One plot highlighted in red, Iron Ridge Customs. Riley stared. That's our shop. Yeah, Jules said quietly. And if this new development goes through, you're right in the blast radius. She stepped back like the page burned. They'd talked about city expansion before. Rumors, small moves. But nothing direct, nothing with a name. Until now. Colin wasn't here for a car. He was here to leverage the things she loved most to fold her into something she never wanted to be part of. By lunch, Nina Bell was pulling up background. I dug into this heritage vehicle showcase Mercer's organizing, she said, waving her iPad. It's not even listed publicly. No military event calendar, no Fort Ransom promo. Riley raised an eyebrow. So, what is it? Nina smirked. Looks like it's a soft launch event to generate goodwill for the Ransom Heights development. Guess whose firm is managing it? Riley already knew the answer. Mercer Strategic Logistics, Collins Holding Company. Nina tapped the screen again. And guess who sits on the Civilian Business Advisory Board for that district? Riley didn't answer. Colin Mercer. And get this, he's part of the board reviewing businesses impacted by the rezoning proposal. He gets to recommend which shops get relocation aid and which don't. That was the play. He didn't just want the Mustang fixed, he wanted compliance. Because Riley Grant, if pulled into the spotlight, made him look like he was supporting community values. And if she refused, she became an obstacle. A name crossed off a list. She walked out to the Mustang, still gleaming under the shop awning like it was daring her to get under the hood. Her hands itched to fix it. She knew every bolt on these machines like kin. But this one wasn't a car. It was leverage dressed in chrome. And she wasn't about to be driven off her own land by a man who never respected what it cost to build it. Riley grabbed her phone and opened her old contact list. She didn't need lawyers yet. She needed people who remembered who she was before Colin Mercer ever made rank. Veterans, neighbors, clients who trusted her, and one friend with a drone and a sharp eye for zoning boards. Because this time, she wasn't waiting for the storm to hit. She was going to meet it at the ridge. Chapter 3. Reputation on fire. Land on the line. By Thursday, things got ugly. Riley arrived at Iron Ridge Customs to find a city vehicle blocking her garage bay, hazard lights flashing like an accusation. A clipboard-wielding man in khakis stepped out and introduced himself as Brent Kessler, City Code Enforcement. We received an anonymous complaint about structural compliance issues on the premises, he said, not meeting her eyes. Riley stared at him. Anonymous? He nodded. A few items flagged in the 2021 zoning survey weren't fully updated. We'll need to review permits, safety logs, and your utility layouts. Today. She glanced behind him. 2 more officials were already poking around the property line. Inside the shop, Jules and Cam watched through the window. This smells like Mercer, Cam muttered. It reeks of him, Jules replied. Guy probably sent the complaint himself and signed it with his left hand. Riley walked them through every document, every form. Nothing hidden, nothing wrong. But it didn't matter. Not to people who weren't there to help, only to stall, to rattle, to wear her down. After they left, Nina showed her the screen. New review just went up 5 minutes ago. Look familiar? It was a 1-star hit piece. full of vague accusations about poor service, price gouging, and unsafe repairs on a classic vehicle. No name, no details, just venom. Then another popped up, and another, all in the same tone, all within minutes of each other. She didn't have to guess. Colin was going full smear mode, and it was working. By Friday, 2 longtime clients canceled appointments. One of them sounded genuinely nervous on the phone. I don't know, Riley. People are saying things. You used to have a great reputation. Used to. Riley hung up and stared at the wall for a long minute. This was exactly how Mercer operated. Quiet pressure, undeniable consequences, plausible deniability wrapped around a poisoned smile. That night, she drove out to the top of the ridge. Her land, her shop. The trees were dark silhouettes against the stars. She hadn't just built a business here. She'd built a home, a place where people came not just to fix machines, but to feel seen, respected, trusted. And Colin was trying to pave that over with luxury condos, parking structures, and a fake nostalgia parade where she fixed his car for the cameras and disappeared by spring. She leaned on the hood of her old pickup, thinking about walking away. Then her phone buzzed. A message from Ellie Barnes, a retired Army captain she hadn't heard from in years. He tried this in Fayetteville, too. I heard what's happening. Want me to reach out to some folks? Then another from Derek Lee, a retired Marine who once limped into her shop and left with a rebuilt transmission and his dignity intact. Saw some garbage online about you. Just left a real review. Hope it helps. They kept coming. Former clients, old squad mates, even one of the zoning board interns she'd once helped with a flat tire at the edge of town. Her silence had been her strength. But now, visibility was her shield. She opened her laptop and began writing. A letter, a post, a call-out, a line in the dirt. Because Mercer didn't just want the shop. He wanted the silence that came with surrender. And that wasn't for sale. Chapter 4. The Mustang leaves, but so does his power. The next Monday, Colin Mercer returned. Same smug expression, same polished boots. But something was different. He didn't bother parking in the lot. He pulled the Mustang right up to the shop bay doors like he was still the one giving orders. Riley stood waiting, arms crossed, work gloves still on. The Mustang gleamed under the morning light, a beast, rebuilt and humming like it had something to say. "I assume it's ready?" Mercer said, not quite asking. "It's ready," Riley said flatly. "I documented every part, every hour, every torque spec. Your car's solid. And I've got the full invoice for you here." He smirked and stepped forward, already fishing out his phone. "Before I pay, just know that I spoke to the county board this morning. I've got the votes to move this development forward. So if you're hoping that your little PR stunt stopped anything, it didn't." Riley didn't flinch. It wasn't a stunt. It was the truth. Mercer shrugged. "Truth doesn't matter, Riley. Narrative does. And I've got the contracts, the capital, and the committee." She handed him the invoice. "And I've got the community. You'll notice the parts are charged at cost, the labor discounted. You'll also notice this receipt was already submitted with my formal statement to the county attorney's office, just in case you try to claim overbilling." Mercer's hand paused mid-reach. She kept going. By the way, I had a visit from the local reporter this weekend. Seems people are curious about why a civilian contractor is so interested in controlling the rezoning of privately owned veteran-run businesses. Mercer's face tightened. You think you're some kind of hero? No, Riley said. I just think I've got receipts, and you've got too many enemies to count anymore. Mercer swiped his card, a little harder than necessary, and took the keys. I hope this place was worth it, he muttered, because it's not going to last. Riley tilted her head. Funny. That's what they said about my Humvee in Kandahar. It's still running too. He left without another word. The Mustang roared to life. It still sounded beautiful. But this time, it was leaving without fanfare. A week later, the county board announced the development was under review. The zoning decision was tabled, quietly, indefinitely. By then, Riley's inbox had filled with appointment requests. Customers who didn't care about the smear campaign, or maybe even because of it. A local paper ran a piece titled, "Integrity at the Ridge. One Mechanic's Stand Against the Machine." She didn't give interviews, didn't gloat, didn't fire back online. She just kept fixing cars, the way she always had. 3 weeks later, she got a letter in the mail, handwritten. The Mustang runs better than it ever did. That much I'll give you. I still think you're a damn fool for not taking the easy way. But maybe you're the kind of fool this place needs. CM. No apology. Just a truce carved in pride. Riley folded the letter, placed it in the drawer next to her old dog tags, and got back to work. In a world where silence is easy and shortcuts are everywhere, integrity makes noise. If this story resonated with you, hit that subscribe button and share it with someone who believes in doing things the right way, even when no one's watching. Let us know in the comments, when's the last time you stood your ground? And what did it cost you? We read every one. And remember, the louder they rev the engine, the more they're trying to distract you. Stay steady, stay grounded. We've got another story coming soon. And this one? It starts with a rusted pickup, a canceled order, and a knock no one expected at 3 a.m. Until next time.